Hi, welcome to Far From Eden. I'm really excited today because we are going to watch Homath's Guy, Pretty Privilege. I have been waiting to watch this. I haven't seen it. I am so curious because oftentimes you hear about pretty privilege for women, and it definitely exists, man. If you are pretty, you, the world is just so much easier. It's embarrassing how easy it is if you're a pretty woman, how, things just get done for you. There's a lot of simps out there, and there's a lot of people, a lot of men still thinking like, oh, I've got to serve women. I've got to serve women. So it's overboard. And I don't think it's healthy because we are not deserving it at all right now. But Guy Pretty Privilege, it's sort of new to me. I understand, like, back in high school, there were guys who were, considered to be more attractive, and I suppose they had privilege, but I really want to know what that is, what it looks like. So I am ready to be mansplained to, ready for home app, mansplain it to me. I love it. That's how I learn. So let's do it. I am ready for him to teach me about this. It's so fascinating to learn about men. I have realized the last, decade or so, learning more about you guys. It's like I knew nothing. I really didn't. And I thought I did, like all these other women. I thought I knew what you guys were about, what you thought, and it was just made up from movies, from what I wanted to believe, and all the rest of it. So it's good to have these channels out there so there, women can learn what really makes you guys tick, what you guys are really about. It's not what they think it is. Not what they think it is. Okay, here we go.
The amount of stuff you can get away with if you're attractive is literally so insane. And everyone talks about women pretty privilege, but no one ever talks about guy pretty privilege.
I always appreciate it when women understand the different ways that they treat different types of men. Guy pretty privilege is another word for hypergamy. So, first of all, I'd like to thank her for noticing. And second of all, I have a few stories for you to try to encourage you to maybe move up a few notches if possible. But first, listen to how she understands. It's therapeutic.
I think if the unattractive guys tried to do the things that attractive guys did to girls, they would be called out for harassment.
Yeah, exactly. This girl from an old video said, don't catcall me unless you're attractive. And then she said it was a joke, which means it's kind of true.
But if an attractive guy did what unattractive guys did, it would be considered cute.
This is where my stories come in. I did some not very cute things that went over just fine.
I feel like attractive guys have kind of like a act like an asshole card that they could use whenever they want because they have a pretty face, and they have unlimited ways on how to hit on women without being a creep.
Yeah, you can say quite a wide range of things and it will be okay, but only as long as she feels like this about you. This is a drawing of me when I was at my most attractive and a relationship that I had during that time where I did nothing and she did more than she should have. This is a timeline of that relationship. I had a crush on this girl when I was 11, and she pretty much ignored me until after college when I lost weight and got in shape. And she sent me a suggestive message on Facebook where she saw my pictures, and we began a certain kind.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Oh my God. When women do that, it's a trap. But this is why he has learned so much from all of this, hasn't he? Because if he was heavy before and girls didn't like him, he's seen both sides of it. This makes a lot of sense. This makes sense why he sees it from different, perspectives, because he's been different places on, the scale. Because men can go up, move themselves up the scale way more, increase their marketplace value, so to speak, by, working out, earning money, those sorts of things. And age doesn't take away from it the way it does for women. So yeah, that's so interesting to learn that about him.
Kind of relationship. And eventually, she let me know that she had been cheating on a different guy with me. And I said, well, that's a bad idea. You should probably either have a boyfriend or have fun, and you should pick one. And so she did. She got rid of him and said, "Now we can be together." And I said, "Well, that's not part of the deal. This guy's just going to be me later." And she said, "Oh, darn," and continued seeing me anyway. And also, I had no money and she had money, so she paid for everything while I continued to see other girls on the side. That's how much difference this can make. If you can cross this line, you're going to experience quite a big power differential.
Unattractive guys have to be more slow about it. They have to be more nonchalant and sneaky about hitting on a girl.
Sneaky, okay, we used to call that getting to know someone. When you're familiar with somebody, it becomes easier to create that bond. And maybe you, as an individual, can work your way out of it, but you can't have everyone works their way out of it. Because if they did, and everybody became more attractive, women would just reevaluate this into another one of these. There would be 80% of the guys who made it would be reevaluated into the didn't make it zone. And those guys have no choice. They have to get familiar with women first. Otherwise, they just get completely left out. And that's why the world is looking more and more like this. People don't get to know each other anymore.
Yeah.
And if you try, women will call it sneaky. That's the one thing she said that I didn't like.
They also can't be arrogant and rude, where a lot of attractive guys get away with being rude.
That's me. I used to be rude. I was so bitter after I found out the difference between how people treat you when you move from here to here that I actually made a game out of what is the rudest thing that I can say to someone who I know already likes me before she doesn't like me anymore. And I never found it. I wrote a few of them down, but I don't feel safe showing you. I played other games too. I once met a girl on the computer. I went to her place 3 times without ever telling her my name. And then on my way out the door, the third time, I said, "Are you going to ever ask me my name or what?" And she said, "I didn't want to offend you." Like I was going to say, "Whoa, you're moving a little fast, aren't we?" No, I'm not encouraging any of this behavior. This is degenerate. The only
Okay. First of all, he just said degenerate. It is degenerate because I did point out before he does explain how it is. He he explains what's going on in relationships and personalities and stuff. But I have pointed out that we are the one thing that's not there, and it's not a criticism, but something that isn't there is okay. Well, yes, but how is it supposed to be? Why are we in this mess? Like, it's not supposed to be this complicated mess. You shouldn't have to figure all this out. You shouldn't be able to, have this degeneracy and have this degeneracy rewarded. So I very much like that he called that, degenerate. That it warms my heart, warms my little puritanical heart. And yeah, this is fascinating. He goes so fast. It's fascinating to find out that he's been on both sides of it. He played these games to see how rude he could be. He went to the chick's house 3 times and never said his name just to see if he could. This man is up here playing chess, like 4D chess, and the rest of us are just existing. At least the women are. They had no idea. Wow. I'm so curious about his girlfriend now. I'm nosy.
reason I did it is because I was bitter because I couldn't be liked without being likable. I didn't want to put in the work to get out of this area, and when I finally did, I still felt like this on the inside.
Right. He knew that they didn't like him for him. I think that's what you realize is that, oh, you didn't want the real me. You want all this superficial stuff that isn't really me. And what does that say about you? Do I really want you as a man if you didn't want me when I was down there? And I mean, I wouldn't. That's just shallow. She's just shallow. Like the chick who didn't look at him before, and then all of a sudden, oh, now I want you. That's going to happen to a lot of men. But the thing is like they told you who they were. And yeah, you get bitter because you're like, they don't really want me.
And I said, oh, now it's my turn to do this to someone else. And that's not what we need more of. That
No.
kind of stuff just goes back into the dating pool and makes everybody more miserable and harder to deal with.
Now, the difference between an attractive guy and an attractive girl is like so different. An attractive girl sometimes like they don't get guys. They get rejected because people get jealous of them or they're really intimidated or they're jealous. And it's just really hard to be an attractive girl. But for an attractive guy, literally it's like living on the red carpet with.
It's not really hard to be an attractive girl. There is hate. There's definite hate from other women because women are competitive. But at the end of the day, which one's easier? It's easier to be an attractive woman. I will tell you something. The most privileged people on the face of the earth ever in history are attractive white women. And not because of race or anything like that. It's just that our men have created, the society that made all these comforts, and propped us up to have these cushy lives and be served and everything, which has led to a lot of this, stuff we're in. That's how they get so entitled. But yeah, but it's not hard to be pretty girl. Okay.
Silver platters of opportunities handed to you constantly.
Well, not job opportunities. This was roughly my attractive era from here to here, and this was my net worth. And then I had nothing, and now I have internet money. But yeah, she's not wrong. This is an easier position in the market than this. It's easier to get what you want. Now, I wish we could get away from this app style of dating and back to the classics, but I don't know how we're going to do that. This might even get worse. At least people are starting to get it. But for now, if you are not working on yourself, you are potentially giving up a lot of power. Just don't misuse it when you get it, or you'll eventually turn into me, but without the internet money.
The amount of stuff you can get away with.
He's funny without the internet money. Yeah, because internet money it's fleeting and it's difficult. It's not, you don't just make a channel and all of a sudden people view your videos. It's not how it works. That was very insightful. Every time I watch a video by Homath, I feel like I just downloaded a bunch of information, like on the Matrix, on the first Matrix, when they're, programming, like teaching him stuff by downloading it into Neo's brain. He's like, I know Kung Fu. I feel like that after I watch a Homath video. I'm like, I know Kung Fu. Yeah. That's, again, I'm so happy he used his own experiences of what he has seen in his own life. It is just one example. However, it is extremely valuable when we look at the other data and how women view attractive men and how they don't see average men. They don't value average men at all. And for him to see it on both sides, what a wealth of wisdom that has given him. And I'm sure sometimes he probably wishes he didn't know some of the things he knows, because when you're, if he was overweight when he was younger, the girls were not good to him, and like he said, he was bitter. Notice he didn't make himself into some victim. If it had been a female making the video, it would have been, cry me a river. But that was great. My brain is still chewing on it. These crazy dating, the way dating is now, the way male and female humans, come together now is so messed up, so degenerate, because we have wandered too far away from how it's supposed to be. That's why I renamed my channel Far From Eden last year, I think it was. Because I realized this is just the fall over again. We're just removed from the Garden of Eden. because the garden was how it's supposed to be. And then Eve did what she did, messed it all up for everybody. How is that not what's happening now? Just on a macro level, right? And this is us seeing it in dating. And it might seem like, oh, it's just dating. It's huge population crises, you know, in so many countries. And depressed women who are alone, and it's going to be way worse as it goes forward. And it really comes down to women being too entitled and thinking that they're too good for perfectly wonderful men. You know, and yeah, you guys can work out and you can, you know, become good at whatever it is you do. Even if you're a janitor, you can be the best janitor, and then you can, you know, keep doing that. And maybe you know, start a business where you have several different janitors under your belt. And then now you guys are like the, you know, the go-to like people if they need a job done. Like, you can take anything and make it great. You really can. You can be fantastic at whatever it is that you do. And then you'll get confidence from that. But what if you're 5'6" and you're a guy? My dad was 5'6", you know? What do you do then? I mean, yes, you can move up, but then there's only so much. But like, there's plenty of chicks who are 5 feet tall. They do not need 6 foot dudes. It's ridiculous. It's only for like a trophy for them to say, look at, I bagged me one. Like it's like a 10-point buck or something. Gonna reveal my, you know, country southernness to give that reference. But yeah, it's sort of like, hey, look at that 10-point buck I got. Because he's 6 whatever. Because that's what's in demand. And that's not what it's supposed to be about. That's ego. It's all ego. Funny to call it guy pretty privilege. It's so feminine, but it's catchy. So thank you guys for joining me on this. I'm so interested to read your comments about this. I'm sure you have had, all of you, regardless of where you are on that scale, you've all had a situation where some woman has just cut you down, you know, treated you like trash, unless you're, you know, a 10 and you're like, no, that's never happened to me. But I don't think they're watching this content. Anyway, I hope you are feeding your soul today. Go out to nature. They say touch grass for a reason. It's very healing to men. And if you've never done that before, if that you don't relate to that, go try it. Go try it. The other thing is that I have learned for men is music. Music, drawing, something like that, something creative. Because men are made in the image of God, and God is a creator. So, going to nature, marveling at it, noticing the different sounds of the birds, just appreciating the stillness. If you can find a place, if you're in the city, it's gonna be trickier, but you can do it. You can find that little piece. There's a little part. I live in an apartment building, right? It's 1 floor. There's eight apartments in this one building, and there's several buildings in the place, right? So sometimes for my workout, I will walk around the building with Lola. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Lola reminds me. Anyway, so I'll take Lola around. I owe her a walk today. I just it's good for me to practice walking, like good for my body, you know, to do it. It's hard, but it's good. And around the corner, it's this little area where it's just a wall. There's no window of any apartment. There's trees, and there are some daffodils over there. And then when the daffodils are finished, the lilies come in. There's a dogwood tree. And it's just like it's not a big space. But for me, it's my botanical garden. Lola and I go around the corner, and we're like Björn from Norway. Björn Andreas Bull Hansen. Got all of his names, right? He goes to his local woods I don't have my local woods, but I have this side of the building where it's quiet and the birds are over there. Sometimes you'll see a squirrel and the flowers that are there. I check on the flowers and it's peaceful, you know, but I do that intentionally. And I know that for men, it's even more important to do that. So I implore you to carve out that space. Exercise too. I forgot. We have a lovely subscriber who's in the chat just about every night, and I don't even know how to pronounce his chat name. It's like Homanoia. Anyway, he's Spanish. He's from Madrid, and he walks 10 kilometers every day, and he does it at night so that the pollution is less. And he enjoys his city. And he does it every night. And he said it's not hard for him because it's so good. So it's not difficult. He doesn't have to be disciplined to do it. And I just think it's beautiful. But he's in a city, but he prioritizes that. He finds his peace in the middle of a crazy, bustling city. But he's on his walk. And I want you guys to have, you know, that's something that you do, something that somewhere you go that is no one else's, you know, and protect that. It's so important. So important. It's hard to get started, but then once you do, you realize how much you need it. You really do. So I love you guys. I want you to be well, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.